Hello guys, welcome to this video. I am Abhijit. In this video, we are going to discuss about a graph traversal. In specific, we are going to discuss about the DFS algorithm of the graph traversal. Now, graph traversing means that it is a method of examining the nodes or vertices and the edges that are present inside a graph. There are two standard methods that are available for the graph traversal. Number one is a breadth first search, that is BFS, which uses a queue as an auxiliary data structure, and second one is a depth first search, which uses a stack as an auxiliary data structure. In this video, we are going to discuss about the depth first search. Now, depth first search algorithm uses a stack as an auxiliary data structure. It progresses by expanding the starting node of the graph and going deeper and deeper unless and until one of the two conditions is encountered. Either a goal node is found or until the node that has no children is encountered. When the dead end is reached, the algorithm backtracks and the most recent node that not been completely explored are then ready for the exploration. Consider the given example. In that case, node A is given as a source node and we have to apply the DFS for the given graph. Now, in order to apply the DFS, the first step is to calculate the adjacency list. How to calculate the adjacency list I have already discussed in my previous videos. Now, the two nodes are said to be adjacent if there exists a direct path between the two nodes. So, the adjacency list for the given graph is given by this way. Here, the node, that is node B and node C, are directly connected to the node A. That's why for node A, the adjacent node are node C and node B. Same for node B. Node B is directly connected to node A and node D. That's why I have mentioned here node B is directly connected to node A and node D. For node C, there are three nodes that are directly connected with a node C, that is node A, node E and node F. That's why I have mentioned here the adjacent node of node C is A, F and E. In the similar way, we have calculated the adjacency list for the remaining nodes in the present in the graph. Now, let's apply the DFS algorithm. As I told earlier, the DFS algorithm makes the use of stack. So, consider this as a given stack. In that case, the source node is considered to be a first node, which is at the top of the stack. Now, in order to apply the DFS, we have to perform two steps. Number one, we have to remove the element, we have to pop the element which is present at the top of the stack, and we have to replace that element, means we have to push the element that are adjacent to the element that we are going to pop. For example, in the case the A is present at the top of the stack, that's why we have to pop the A. At the same time, what are the elements which are directly adjacent to the A? We have to push that element into the stack. So I have popped the element A here, and from the adjacency list I have found that node C and node B are the adjacent node for node A. So I have pushed node C and node B onto my stack. So when I insert node C and node B into my stack, here node B is come at the top of the stack. Apply the same rule. We have to remove the B, that is we have to remove the top element from the stack and replace it with its the adjacency list. We have removed the node B and replace it with the adjacency node. The adjacent node of the node B is node A and node D. As we have already covered the node A, there is no need to recover it. So we have considered only node D. Now the node D is present at the top of the stack. The next step is to pop the element D and insert the element which are adjacent to D. So from the adjacency list, it is clear that node B is adjacent to node D. But as we have already discussed the B, we are not going to reconsider it. So just simply we have to decrease the value of top. Now the top point to the element C. Same, apply the steps. The elements that are the nodes that are adjacent to the node C are A, F and E. We have already covered the node A, so the remaining element are F and E. So pop the top element and push the elements, that is F and E. After the statement, the stack look like this. Here the top of the element points to the element E. Now from the adjacency list, the element E, the adjacent element of E is C. So we have to insert a C, but as we can see that C is already here covered, that's why there is no need to recover, there is no need to consider the node C again and again. So we have to simply pop the top element which is present at the top. The element which is present at the top is element E, so I have popped the element. So when E is popped, the last element is remaining in the stack is F. From the adjacency list, it is found that the element which is adjacent to node F is node C. So we have to insert C, but as C is already considered here, there is no need to reconsider it. So simply we have to pop the element. Apply the same rules again and again, apply the same steps again and again, unless and until the stack is empty. So when we remove the F, that is the top element from the stack now going to be remains empty. So when the stack is empty, we found our original last solution, that is we are getting the elements A, B, D, C, E, F. The combination of all is given as the DFS for the given graph. That is A, B, D, C, E, F is DFS traversal for the mentioned given graph. Now, as in the previous video we are considering the undirected graph, here we are considering a directed graph. In that case, node H is given as a source node. So the first step is to calculate the adjacency list. The adjacency list for the given directed graph is given by this way. So node A adjacent to B, C, D. So I have mentioned here for node A, B, C, D. For node B, there is path exists only from E. So from node B, the path exists only towards E. From node C, the path exists towards node B as well as towards node G. So for node C, there is adjacent node B and adjacent node G, and so on. We have calculated the adjacency list for all the nodes present in the graph. Now the second step is to apply the stack, make the use of stack. So consider this as a stack. In that case, whatever the starting element, whatever the source element which are given, first push that element into the stack. I have pushed H as H is a source node. Now according to the DFS algorithm, we have to pop the element which is present at the top of the stack, and we have to replace it with the elements that are present in the adjacency list. So here the element H is present at the top of the stack, so we have to remove that element. So I have removed the element H and replace it, or we have to push the element that are adjacent to node H. So from the adjacency list, it is clear that node E and node I, these are the two nodes that are adjacent to our node H. So I have pushed the node E and I onto the stack. So I comes at the top of the stack. Apply the same rule. You have to pop the element I from the stack and replace it with the elements which is present in the adjacency list. So I have popped the element I and replace it and push it with the elements that are present to the adjacent of I. So the node F is present at the adjacent of I, that's why I have pushed here the node F. So for the node F, again repeat the same procedure. Remove the top element. Now the top points to the F, so I have removed F and F is replaced by the elements that is present that adjacent to the node F, that is C and H. As H is already considered, there is no need to reconsider. So there is only a single node which is to be pushed onto the stack. So the node is node C. The element which is at the top of the stack is node C. So for the node C, remove the node C from the top of the stack and replace it with the elements from the adjacency list. So there are two elements that are present that are adjacent to the node C, that is node B and node G. So I have removed the top element, that is C, and insert the two elements B and G onto the stack. So the topmost element is now G. As we can found that G is the topmost element, we have to remove the G and it has to be replaced with what? The adjacent node. So adjacent node of G is F, we have already considered. The second one is H, as H is also considered, and I is also considered. Means there are three nodes that are adjacent to node G, but we have already considered all the three nodes. So there is no particular node available to be inserted or to be pushed onto the stack. So simply we have to remove the topmost element and now top points to the element B. From the adjacency list, the element which is adjacent to node B is node E, but node E is already present into our stack, so there is no need to push it again. So simply we have to remove the topmost element. Now topmost element points to the element E. From the graph it is found that the element which are adjacent to E are C, we have already covered the C, and F, we have already covered the F. So there is no new element to be inserted into the stack. There is no new element that can be pushed into the stack. So we have removed the topmost element and there is no new element. That's why the last step is stack is empty. Whenever the stack is empty, we have to stop at that particular position. The combination of all the element gives you, that is H, I, F, C, G, B, E, gives you the DFS, that is the depth for such traversal for the given graph. Now if we observe carefully, there are two nodes, that is node A and node D are not present in DFS. This is because the node A and node D are not reachable from node H, that is our source node. It means there is no path exists between H to A, and similarly there is no path exists between H to D. That's why make sure that as node A and node D are not reachable from the starting node H, it is not reflected in our DFS. Consider the algorithm for the DFS. As I have discussed in the previous video, the algorithm uses a variable status which have three values. The status is equals to 1, it means that our particular node is in initial state, that is a ready state. When the value of state is equals to 2, it means we have visited that particular node, but it is in a waiting state, either in a queue if we are using BFS, or in a stack we are using DFS. And number 3 means we have visited that particular node, then we have done with the processing, and that node is now completely processed. So there are three possible values of status. Status either equals to 1 for the ready node, status is equals to 2 for the waiting node, and status is equals to 3 for the process node. Now set the status is equals to 1 for each and every node that are present in our graph. The first step is to push the source node into our stack. Whenever we push a particular source node into the stack, set its status to 2. Now repeat the step until the stack is empty. Now what are the different steps to be applied, what are the different steps to be repeated? The steps are: number 1, you have to pop the element which is present at the top of the stack and set its status is equals to 3. It means that we have removed the particular element and now it is done with the processing. That's why we have set a status is equals to 3. When we pop the element from the top of the stack, now at the same time we are pushing the element that are adjacent to our elements that are we removed from the top. So push the element onto the stack, that is all the neighbors of the n, and the neighbors of the n can be easily found using adjacency list that are in a ready state whose status is equals to 1, and set their status is equals to 2. Means now that nodes are converted from the ready state to the waiting state. You have to apply the same rule again and again unless and until the stack is empty. That's why I have mentioned here, repeat the step 4 and 5, that is remove the top elements and push all the neighbor element onto the stack until the stack is empty, and the last step is exit. So application of DFS. The DFS search is useful for: number 1, finding the path between the two specified node of an unweighted graph, finding the path between the two specified node of a weighted graph, finding whether a graph is connected or not, and also it is used to compute a spanning tree of a connected graph.